What's a man or a king? In response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You from the game and shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs slide. Fast talker, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much make it a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? In response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You from the game and shoot what said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted, this what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. And I am so happy that you made it back here. And if it's your first time checking us out, please take my invitation to become a subscriber, become a member. They're the lifeblood of this organization that we got going on the Frontline. And we talk about Xbox gaming news here very positively. Unlike other places where you might get Xbox news that ain't all that positive, we have positivity here. We see the future of Xbox, and we know that the future is bright. We understand that Xbox is the leader in the gaming industry, innovation, financially, pushing everything forward. Numbers will follow. But this community is the best community, and I do appreciate each and every last one of you members. I appreciate Snipes for being very smart. Every time you super chat during the week on any of these videos that premiere, you have an opportunity to win a coin at the end of the week. I read all the super chats and I leave it up to the crew over here at Xbox Frontline to vote on who has the best super chat. And that person gets the coin. We send the coin out to them. So, and on Fridays is a live show. We do coins to all members. We give out coins. So my man Snipes found a loophole and he's winning right now because he's been super chatting every video that goes up. God bless him. And God bless each and every last one of you that watches our videos and shares it out. But today we're going to talk about a whole bunch of things. We're going to talk about AI. We're going to talk about the PlayStation VR 2 not being worth the salt, not being worth the squeeze. We're going to talk about delisting the Forza Horizon. Yeah, that thing happened. We're going to talk about a Valve. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things that needs to be talked about because this is Xbox Frontline News, where we talk about everything gaming, but most importantly, we're going to keep the boot on Kong's neck this generation. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know exactly how we do it up here. We're going to run it up on them bums. Yo, speaking about running it up on them, I was playing my son today. We was playing Tekken 8. The God had to school him. 22. Boy, I had to drop that 22 on him. It was something terrible. He did get one win. Shout out to my boy showing his worth. He didn't give up. He stood in the fight, got that one win, and I was like, good, that's enough. We can end it on that. You know, he got his one win. But I did get a 1-1 run back, beat him, and that's how that 22 happened. But, yeah, man. By the way, playing Elden Ring, my stupid behind put it to Game Plus, right? After I ended it before, and I got a little bit bored with New Game Plus because I'm so OP. And not being the OP that you can't, things can't happen to you. They will happen to you. So I was a little bit OP and I was going around doing stuff. But remember, I had to open up all the graces. So now I went out, opened up all the graces, got everything, did everything like I'm supposed to do, entered the DLC. I'm going to tell you, man, this game can captivate you. It can take your soul. It can take your time. And it is one of those games you can get lost in the world and the majesty of the lore of the world. But yo, let's get into this first topic and let's make this first topic sing. Haha, yeah. Stella Blade has crossed over 1 million units. Developer Shiftup has shared at a press conference that the game has sold quite successfully, with DLC in the works to continue its support. This game is I'm not gonna lie, I like to see games like this, ground up, come up. Korean outlet, Kenjin Games, they got a chance to discuss with the developer, about the future of the game. And it was there that they, Shiftup Chief Financial Officer, Jay Woo, shared the details of the game's sales. Stella Blade crossed the 1 million mark as of June 25th, 2024, It's currently sold as a 9 out of 2 out of 10 of user ratings at Metacritic, which is pretty cool. 9.2. This is cool. This is stuff that I like to see. I like to see games organically grown and then launch on a platform. And even if it's not my platform of choice, that the game actually sees success. We like to see stuff like that happen. And the fact of all the controversy that was around the game actually succeeded. And I respect the game for being exactly what it is. I like the game for what it is. It feels like a game from the 360 era, from the PlayStation 3 era, unapologetically who it is, what it is, and how it deserves to be played. I love it. I love it a lot. Stella Blade has sold over 1 million units. Shout out to Shiftup. I really appreciate Shiftup being the company that they are. The Despite all the adversity that they try to throw your way, despite the sweet baby ink things, despite the clothing on the character, despite the sexuality of the character, despite everything, it still pushed on and it still did what it was supposed to do. And I appreciate that. And they do have a roadmap. They do have DLC coming. And I think that is exactly what we need in the game industry. Hardworking developers that understand the principle of their game and don't veer left to right, just stay the course and make the proper game. And I don't care if it's for the opposition, but good on them that they got a good game. And I'm not gonna lie, the game looks fantastic. But I will continue to keep the boot on Kong's neck this whole generation. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know how it is. We're gonna run it up on them bumps. Can't stop, won't stop. But at the same time, I'm gonna yell out no Diddy. But the game is a great looking game. And I wish more of the fan base will engage with the game. If you say you got 60 million, why isn't this game being pushed and pushed hard, pause, to all the fan base? This is the part of that, stuff that hurts. Forza Horizon 5 came out, and of course it was a matter of time before Forza Horizon 4 saw the delisting and a removal from Game Pass. Well, we got the news. Forza Horizon 4 will be delisted and removed from Xbox Game Pass. Developer Playground Games have announced that Forza Horizon 4 will be delisted from the Microsoft Store and removed from Game Pass later this year. Licensing issues is what's at the root of this. The music of the game, it's a lot. And a lot of times people don't understand, you can't continue to support the license fees go up and stuff like that. The Forza team add players who already own the game and its content will be able to download and play it as normal, including its offline and online multiplayer features. Physical copies of the games purchased after that day will also work and will be able to be used online features. Interesting. Playground says that if you played Forza Horizon 4 Viva Xbox Game Pass and brought any of the DLC packs for it, you will be eligible to receive a game token for Forza Horizon 4 if you have an active, full paid, not discounted Game Pass subscription on 6/2025. However, as of today, June 25th, Horizon 4 individual DLC packs will be delisted from digital storefronts. The standard, deluxe, and ultimate editions of Forza Horizon 4 will still be available to purchase up until December 15th delisting date and will be discounted in the Xbox sale on July 14th. With Forza Horizon 4 entering end of its life status, Playground is ending the festival playlist, the finals playlist, Series 77, starting on July 25th and will run through August 22nd. After Series 77 ends, Playground says you will no longer be able to access the playlist screen except to see the festival playlist history. When booting the game, you'll be taken to the festival site screen rather than the festival playlist. Well, and they go into it and they talk about it. Forza Horizon 4 is one of the games included in Xbox Game Pass course, so it will be interesting to see if it's replaced with Forza Horizon 5 at that delisting date, which I believe to be true. Why else would they, do it? And I believe the same thing will happen to Forza Horizon 5 after Forza Horizon 6 comes out. It's just the nature of the beast, and that's how it's going to be run. the delisting of Forza Horizon 4. Now, a lot of people are going to have fake outrage. They left it there for a while. Forza Horizon 5 came out. Technically, you're supposed to delist it off the rip from right there, but they didn't. And they continued to push it, and it continued to support it. Licenses become a problem. Time over time passes, and that stuff can't be substantiated. So please go out and get the game if you really care about the game. Go buy the physical copy, download the super edition, whatever it is, before the game is delisted and taken off of Game Pass. But if you purchase the game already and with all that DLC and all that stuff will be available for you. The festivals and stuff will stop. And then, Horizon 5 will be the next step. And by the time Horizon 6, it's going to be a rotating process. That's how it's going to be. We're in a new world. We're in a new age. And delisting happens. And I know you guys are going to say, oh, if this was PlayStation, I will be going a whole lot harder. And I will tell you, pause. You're right. Why? Because this is my chosen platform. This is what I rock with. This is Xbox Frontline News. This is not PlayStation. Let's get down. This is not PlayStation, let's talk about it. No, this is Xbox Frontline News, where we continue to hold the line for Xbox and make sure that, there's positive news, because there's too many channels out here giving negative news. I'm not saying that this is a negative thing. It is a negative thing, but in the proper context, in the proper light, you can fix it. If you really love the game, nothing's stopping you from going out and buying it and getting that discount on it as well, because it's in Game Pass. Go handle your business. Don't talk about it, be about it. That's what we do over here in Xbox Frontline. We're people of business. Everybody anticipating Avowed, like myself, Xbox Avowed is fully playable in third person, confirms Obsidian. In the aftermath of the Xbox game showcase, a Valve developer Obsidian is starting going a bit more in depth about the upcoming fantasy RPG, including the ability to switch to a third-person perspective at the time. Details on this were a little bit vague, but now that the team has confirmed that the game was fully playable in third-person mode. In a new interview, RPG site, Obsidian dev Gabe Paramo gave a nice, straight answer when asked about the option. Here's that exchange. RPG site, you show briefly in a recent podcast, a third-person mode, the whole game is playable in third person? Yep. So that kind of puts to rest all that stupid stuff that, people were saying. I hope it's not like Starfield third person. I hope it's more of we built it up from third person, then switched it to first person to give that feeling. I don't want that floaty feeling that some of games, do that. Some of those games, they do that when you're able to be in third person mode or first person mode. I just hope for the best for the game, because I really have high expectations for this game, to be honest with you. I really do. I think the game looks really good. I think it presents well. I hope it does well. I know the story is going to be good, intriguing. Obsidian never misses, so this should be another feather in Obsidian's cap. With Avowed getting closer and closer to launch, a lot of the bigger questions are being answered. Third person view is playable throughout the whole game, and that's something fantastic to see and know about. My bigger problem was it going to be an afterthought? Was third person going to be an afterthought? Was it going to feel floaty like a Bethesda game? Was it going to feel tangible like a Naughty Dog game? I hope they find a middle ground where it's not an afterthought. I really want third person to feel right. Same way I want first person to feel right. I want the person deciding, the player deciding which way they want to play. And I want them to be satisfied with whatever way they want to play. And I want it to feel exactly natural. I think that will be the only Achilles heel, that the third person will be an afterthought. Because we already know, given Obsidian's pedigree, that the story is going to be good. And, the coalition came out and helped out with the Unreal Engine 5. And as you can see, the 1.5 Unreal Engine 5 update that they did do, or 1.3, it looks fantastic. right? So we know that graphically is going to be up to snuff. We also know story-wise is going to be up to stuff. We just need to know if the first person or third person is going to be priority, and we hope that equal care was given to both. That's just my hope on it. That's my opinion on it. And let's get to the next topic because I can't wait to play this game. The regret of buying a PlayStation VR, 2. I suffer from that same regret, like what is it? Jay Peters, news editor. And he wrote this article, and it seems like Sony has given up on the platform, and so am I. For months, I've been thinking about selling my PlayStation VR 2 after a damning scoop. I finally ready to let it go. And I kind of feel the same way that he does. I got duped into getting this thing and haven't been really utilizing it at all, especially with all the other VR headsets that are available. Months ago, I stashed the PlayStation VR 2 away in the closet and hadn't played it for a very long time, but I hope Sony might release new games that would make me want to bring it back out. Based on Android Central's reporting, I should let those hopes go. Apparently, Sony has cut funding for VR games and has just 2 more PlayStation VR titles in the work. Just 2. And this is something that I talked about earlier. This is something that I talked about before, that I thought it was DOA. The future of the headset has been grim for a while. Earlier this year, Sony laid off developers from Firesprite. Talked about that. I talked about the VR companies that they did have, the developers that they did have in place. They kind of defunded them. The studio that made Horizon Call of the Mountain is closed. Its London studio, which made PlayStation VR Worlds, a game that came bundled with the original PlayStation VR since its February 2023 launch. Sony briefly featured any PlayStation VR 2 games in its announcement showcases. Sony's barely featured any PlayStation 2 game in anything. Sony is really making PlayStation 2 VR mode for Astrobot, despite how much people loved it. They aren't even making it. People love Astrobot Rescue Mission on the PlayStation VR. Before it launched, I was genuinely excited for the PlayStation VR 2. I eagerly anticipated new games like Horizon and newer VR modes for titles like Gran Turismo 7, Resident Evil 4 Remake. The price tag stung. I pre-ordered the $599 bundle with Horizon, but figured I'd get my money's worth by finally tackling some VR classics like Pistol Whip alongside PlayStation VR 2 titles. I knew the PlayStation VR 2 couldn't play PlayStation VR 1s, but I didn't mind. And you know what? I thought that was a huge problem. I thought that was the biggest problem with this thing. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how this headset isn't worth the squeeze. How it seemed like a passion project. I called it, and I told people a long time ago that this was a passion project. This is ridiculous. Let's say I didn't get my money's worth. I did dabble. What the Bat was a delightful, silly-filled VR mayhem. Runner made me feel like an action hero in an old-school anime. Gran Turismo 7 almost made me feel a PlayStation 2 believer. No Man's Sky was an immersive but overwhelming trip to space, and Before Your Eyes made me cry in my headset. But my playtime was almost just dabbling. Nothing was compelling enough for me to keep coming back for it for over a long term. The only game I beat was Before Your Eyes, and that was because it only took about an hour and a half after reading The Verge's middling review of Horizon Call of the Mountain. Wow. It just sucks that this thing was never given the opportunity and the chance to survive. And it's bad. PlayStation VR 2 regret. I know a lot of you guys are suffering with the same level of regret that I have. And the fact that nobody wants to buy this thing. This thing is going to be a dead weight and stuck on your shelf. You won't be able to get rid of this thing at no point in time soon. It is what it is. It's going to be a point in history where you're just going to get a chance to look at it like my PlayStation Go. It's one of those reflection moments that you had when, somebody made a device that was DOA, and this is that device. I told people it was a passion project. I told you Sony wouldn't support it. I don't know why they went after it and getting it. Shout out to Christopher Hart, still pumping his chest out there, hoping and praying. It's only 2 more games coming for the thing, and it sucks. It sucks really bad. It sucks the price point, $700 basically, 600 and some change, just a really poorly marketed, poorly manufactured, poorly promoted and marketed device. It just sucks really bad to have the opportunity to have that space all to yourself and don't do nothing with that space. That's the console VR space. And to fail at the console VR space where nobody else was there, that's crazy. Next topic, man, because this pisses me off. Oh, man. So I got to give it up to my guy, Hip Hop Gamer. The PlayStation is working on PlayStation 3 emulation for the PlayStation 5, it's claimed. The 2 insiders have claimed that the PlayStation is reportedly working on a PlayStation 3 emulation for the PlayStation 5. This according to Xbox era Nick Baker and Giant Bomb Jeff Grubb. Well, before Nick Baker and Jeff Grubb said anything, Hip Hop Gamer said it long time ago that that's what they were working on. But let's give credit where credit is due. Hip Hop Gamer was the pioneer in this whole information leak on this. So that's the source, and that's what we're going to go with. All right. So the first report rumor came from Hip Hop Gamer, who claimed that the Sony is working on a select PlayStation 3 back compatibility. Unfortunately, Hip Hop doesn't provide any other details and has seemingly covered all his bases using the terms like select, which could mean 1 or 2 of or all of them. Well, Hip Hop really talked about it a lot, and I'll probably have Hip Hop on to expound more about it on Friday. But this was something that I wanted to talk about, and let's see. Hopefully PlayStation is taking back compat seriously, and especially with one of their best eras with the PlayStation 3. Hopefully they can dig back into an old bag and get some magic. It's the Hip Hop Gamer. He strikes again. I'm always gonna give props to the originator, the person who definitely talked about stuff before. I think he talked about it in 2020. PlayStation VR 3 emulation on the PlayStation 5. It's not gonna save it. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know how we do it over here. We're gonna run it up on them bums. We're gonna keep the boot on Kong's neck this whole generation. But I'm gonna give credit to my guy who talked about, emulation on the PlayStation 5 with the PlayStation 3. And maybe this is Sony taking stock of where the best time, PlayStation owners had was the PlayStation 3 era. There was some of the greatest titles, some of the innovation that happened there. So hopefully this thing comes to fruition. Hopefully they have some form of back compact, some compatibility. Something happens where we're able to play these PlayStation 3 games, because remember that architecture was so different, so unique, so bespoke that it was hard to emulate it. And if they figured it out, good on them. Good on them, because the PlayStation consumer needs that. They need that get back. They need that PlayStation 3. They need it because at the end, you're going to have to double those up to make a PlayStation 6. It's hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know how we do it over there. They done, son. Their app. I'll play that right now on my Xbox. Shout out to us. Hey, you. Now, this is the bigger problem. This is exactly what I wanted to get into. I told you, Embracer Group is the only ones that are actively talking about it right now at the moment. But every video game company is doing the same exact things. Embracer Group has announced new AI policy for game development. Embracer Group has released an annual report for 2023 to 2024. With it comes the revelation of a new AI policy for game development. The company says it has begun rolling out a new group AI policy over the last year. Now, they're telling you this after it has been already rolled out after a year, right? The policy comes with material to help onboard AI usage, as well as provide principles to the work by and overall risk assessment for using AI within game development and a general risk framework. AI has the capabilities to massively enhance game development by increasing resources and efficiency, adding intelligent behaviors, personalities, optimization of the gameplay experiences. The company said by leveraging AI, we can create engaging, immersive experiences that provide each player with unique, dynamic, personalized experiences. We also see great opportunities for AI in game development, speed, logistics, and planning. This is concerning. Let's get to the part where it says the use of AI, the company says, isn't meant to replace people in the work being done by studios. We do not want to replace people with AI. We want to empower them. The head of privacy and AI governance, Thomas Hedman, said, this is the core of our human-centric approach to leveraging the potential with AI. He continued, it's not just that AI enables our developers to do even more and to become more efficient at certain tasks. It will also open up coding to a broader group of developers. Entry into the industry might be easier for individuals with disabilities who, for instance, cannot use keyboards as easily as others. We got to talk about this because I know this to be a huge problem, and this is funny. As far as more specific use for AI, the company didn't fully say it's in its report. Over the last year, and remember, this thing has been implemented within this year, right? Embracer has laid off 1,400 employees and counting, cancellations of dozens of games, announced a split into three companies as they split into three companies. So they announced cancellations, they laid off a ton of people, and they split their company into three. We're going to talk about this because this is the problem in the industry going forward. And I tried to ring the bell and I tried to warn you guys, but no one seems to be listening to me. I know this is a sour note to end on with Embracer Group. But Embracer Group, listen, there's always the one that really ain't got nothing to lose that can talk about it, right? Embracer Group has split into three. They have laid off more than 1,400 people. So they came out and let you know that we have an AI initiative program that is going to be easing up the burden on our developers, allowing other people to become programmers. It's nasty work, man, to be honest with you. You know, this program has been initiated over a year. And under this over the year stuff, they have let go of 1,400 people and counting. It's sad because you see where it's going. We think that this doesn't have any consequence. There's consequence and repercussions to everything. Anytime that you take the ability out of the hands of one bespoke group, the programmers, and you take those tools and you place it into anyone's hands, you devalue them. And when you devalue something and companies see devaluation inside the company and redundancies in areas that is not necessary, where they could pay somebody else a little bit less in order to get the same job done, or to pay somebody next to nothing to get the same job, the same results, they will do so. I've been ringing this bell. And if you just think it's Embracer Group, you're fooling yourself and lying to yourself. We have mass layoffs throughout this whole industry. I'm not a fan of mass layoffs. I'm not a fan of layoffs at any form and any kind. I think that you should retain the talent. I think the talent trumps all. I think hard workers deserve honest day's wage. We are so far removed from the principles that was taught us. We are so far removed from when I was growing up to you go do this and you go do that. And I understand you're gonna say, King, that's the same thing that happened to the motor industry. I'm gonna leave you with this. I'm doing a documentary on AI and the downfall of man. I think that's the title that I'm running with. I don't know. But I was watching Tesla, and I'm watching they have a robot called Optimus that they're working on. Optimus. Think about it. And the other robot before that was called Bumblebee. They're trying to make something sentient. But the predictions is by 2028, half the workforce will be replaced with these robots. Where is the workforce going to make money? Where are these people going to make money? What's going to happen? What's going to happen to society? Oh, we're going to adapt. We're going to overcome and we're going to change. That's the optimistic viewpoint of it. What's the realistic viewpoint of it? It's going to be displacement, large-scale displacement. I'm going to tell you, man, I don't know what's going to happen. And this is the talking points that we're supposed to have here. We're supposed to have larger engagement. I want to see huge numbers of engagement. I want to hear solutions. Because it seems like I'm the only one with these concerns, and I don't see you guys as threatened or concerned with it as you should be. Keep in mind, token booth clerks used to have a job. They don't have jobs anymore. They've been replaced by machines. I guess I'm looking at my mortality. I'm a blue-collar worker, blue-collar business owner. I'm just a blue-collar guy. And I'm looking at my mortality, so I guess I'm ringing the bell louder than others because I believe that it's going to affect me in my lifetime before it's all over. I mean, COVID already has, right? Think about it. Will this affect you? If you're a driver, you're an Uber driver, they're talking about having autonomous cars now. I've seen a couple in my city. I'm just saying. This is not this is not what I want my video games to turn into. I don't want it to turn into, and God forbid, our first successful video game that is AI made. God forbid. But this is the part in the video where I'm going to tell you to like, follow, and subscribe. And I'm going to take that logo and I'm going to throw it around Flintlock because I heard somebody just put in the DMs that Flintlock is on Steam. The demo's over there. So I'm going to get my behind on my Steam, but I'm going to tell you, try to play the Game Pass.